How y'all doing, sweethearts? It's a beautiful day out here. Check this out. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look how low this army plane is flown. This is a trip. I don't know if you guys can see it right up there. That's a trip. Usually they don't fly that low. Anyways, so I want to touch on a really, really, really sensitive subject. And we might have to wait for this army plane to go over. Man, that's low. Can you guys hear that? Check that out. You know, sometimes they're not always what they appear to be. Look at that. It's flowing awfully low. So, can you guys hear me with it going overhead? That's a trippy. Okay. I want to talk about suicide, guys. Right now, there is many of you. I've had quite a few. I would say probably about 15 in the past 3-4 days that have come to me about suicide. They're feeling very suicidal. And sweet ones, this is going to take this shift. You know, this is going to take every bit of strength and courage that you've had. And the reason this is going to take every bit of strength and courage and absolute faith and trust in yourself, your spirit, your guide, your team, Father, Mother, Creator. Because again, to the human mind, you know, people don't necessarily fully understand when we talk about the grid work, when we talk about disconnecting from the old star grid to the new star grid. I mean, energetically and frequency-wise and stuff like that, most people get it. But, you know, there's many that don't fully understand it on the galactic side of things, and that's okay. There's a purpose for it. You know, we all have different aspects, different purposes here, different missions. But what it really does for the human aspect of us and for our vessels, it literally is, well, liken it like this, guys. And mind you, I said liken it. Don't take it as absolute truth. I'm just trying to put it into human context here. You know when somebody's heart, they have heart arrhythmias, I think it is, what it's called, and they have to shock your heart. My sister's gone through that. And so this light encoded filaments that are bathed in the planet, and it has consistently gotten more potent and more potent and more potent. It's literally putting a bolt of lightning or shock into your system, if you will. And what it's doing when it does that, when these light encoded filaments and we integrate it, that's where, you know, 1 second you're really blissful, you're happy, you're joyful, you're walking on top of the world. It's like a teenager who had Elvis Presley touch their shoulder or touch their head and never wanted to wash their hair again. And so, or never wanted to wash their hand again, you know. It's that excitement. And then, you know, after it starts integrating, then you go right back down into the dumps and you're like, what the hell? What's going on? What's happening with me? And this is because this was such a huge light infusion of light encoded filaments that we're integrating right now, and because of the huge octave harmonic shift that we just went through by disconnecting from the old star grid and connecting fully to the new star grid. That is literally changing your thought processes and expanding the 5% of brain capacity that we've used into much more capacity. This causes nausea. This is causing every energetic blockage, and many are coming up with diseases, being diagnosed with disease, cancer, schizophrenia, this, that, and the other. This is where, when we encourage you guys to really pamper yourself and really take care of yourself. Again, when you're in the midst of emotions, I understand it's not easy to breathe and center yourself. But you're masters, guys. You've come too far on your journeys to let this last intense waves, if you will, we're right at the threshold on the physical plane of existence. And, you know, I know people sit there and they bash everybody for putting their dirty laundry on Facebook. No, I'm not saying go on there and project out, guys. But I'm saying if you're suicidal and you cannot get out of this spiral, you need to reach out. That's what we're here for. That is what unity and community means, that we are here for each other. It doesn't matter if you don't physically know each other. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, you know, let's message people and pretend that we need help, this, that, and the other, trying to pick somebody up. Come on now. You know, I mean, what I'm saying is, you know, even if you don't, people that aren't friend of mine, and I'm at my friends limit, a lot of your guys' messages go into the filtered part. I only check my filtered messages in the mornings. So I've been trying to remind myself to check them twice a day. Have patience with me, but I'm not the only one out there, guys. There's many, many out there. And you know, sweethearts, I really encourage you, if you're willing to be there for somebody that is spiraling, emotionally spiraling with these energies, you know, if you're willing to offer time and free time, not charging these people, I mean, actually coming into unity and being there and support each other, being the family from the stars that we are, being the angelic families that we are. And, you know, there's many out there that are still in this space, and I'm not judging, I'm just observing it here. Please understand that. Many that are in this space that are still fearing connecting with others, still fearing reaching out. And now it's helpful to understand we can be there to help center you, help balance you. We're not going to do the work for you guys. You know, and if you're coming to us every single day, you know, we're not going to heal you. We're not going to take demons out of you. We're not going to take implants out of you, because that's all fear-based. We're out of those harmonic frequencies. The implants that are within you are there for a purpose. The seals that are within you are there for a purpose. The chakras that are within you are there for a purpose. When they need to be dissolved, removed, acknowledged, yada, 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 is a frequency. And you will naturally dissolve these seals and these implants as you go along. There is nothing outside of you for this ascension process or this awakening process. Now, I don't care who tries and convinces you and tells you that you have to pay for codes to awaken, that you have to pay to have implants removed, that you have to pay for this, that, and the other. Sweet ones, there is nothing outside of you. You have the capacity, the capability, the courage, the strength, and the power within you. Don't let anyone ever tell you you don't. And if you're feeling suicidal, please do this. Look in the mirror. Stare yourself in the eyes, and you sit there and say, I love you. I am holy. I am pure. I am worthy. And reach out, even if you have to go on a live video and say, look, people, I need help. I'm suicidal and I don't know what to do. I have no one that I feel I can reach out to, so I'm reaching out to you. There is many of us out there that will help you. Cheryl, so you're saying just be and let be, and it will be. What I'm saying is breathe and reach out if you need to. What I'm saying is don't go out there and spend a whole lot of money to pay to have something removed that your body and your spirit and your soul will naturally do when it's ready to. You are right where you're at. You're going through right what you're going through for a divine purpose. You're not doing anything wrong, sweethearts. You never have and you never will. And these energies are bringing up Again, depending on the frequency and the amount of inner work you do, how grounded you are, it takes in a lot, your emotional frame of mind. There's a lot that has to be looked at through different lenses. But the core foundational imprint of everything that is coming up right now, everything has to do with trust and distrust issues. And the reason it has come down to these emotions, these experiences, this is the last of the karmic energies that we're transforming. And again, everything begins within. And once you transform the within, the without has to transform. And right now, we've changed the within. And collectively, we've changed the frequency without. And now, that without has to release all that stuff so it can match the new harmonic frequency we've come to. As hard as it is to make it impersonal, sweet ones, take the storyline away from what is coming up, especially those of you who are suicidal. Your life, your breath is the greatest miracle that can ever walk the face of this earth. And that goes for every single one of us. And right now, there are many in a space of suicidalness. And when you really look at it, everything that's coming up is just things that you haven't been able to face. And again, you don't have to face it alone. So please, there are many out here that do understand the spiritual side of this, the ascension process. And even for those that are not on the awakening journey, you can still be there and hold space for them and still surround them. I encourage all of you, and it's not just with people that are suicidal. Anyone going through this right now, I really encourage you to really envision the emerald rose golden ray and bring it down, sweet ones, and breathe it through your heart. And it's kind of a loud cut. He has that my neighbor, he lives down the road, he has a collection of chargers. I think he has a charger every year for the past 27 years, I think it is. Can you imagine a charger from every single year? Kind of a collection. And so anybody that is going through these really emotional hard times, and the masculine especially, the masculine incarnates, right now, there are many of them. These energies are really, really putting them in a space of surrender. That's not easy to do. All of us that have done this journey for the past few years and longer, surrendering is not easy, and that again comes into Snoopy. That really again comes into the trust and distrust right now. Because you're walking literally to the human mind, to the human aspect. It's like you're walking between two worlds right now. It's like you're walking in a corridor and you don't feel like you fit in either world, but yet you're living in both of them. Your dream times are becoming much more lucid. You're remembering more. Snoopy, quit now. You're remembering more. The boys are taking the garbage out, the neighbor boys. You're remembering more details of your dreams. And that's because, again, these light encoded filaments. Well, now I got both of them going. Hey, go outside. Hold on, guys. Can you hear them? All right, come on. Shh. Here, come on. All right, go in there. Go out and go chase him. All right, there you go. Nothing makes a dog happier than when he can go chase someone. And what was I saying now? I don't know what I was saying. What was I saying, guys? I don't know what I was saying. So anyways, back to something anyways. So no, just reach out. These energies are really, truly bringing up those distrust issues, and you're going to find even every single thing that comes down. Oh, their dreams. Thank you, Belinda. Bless your heart, sweethearts. It's really coming down to trust, and the dreams are really showing you this. You know, I'll give you an example. In my dreams, they're really, really lucid. And now I'm remembering it more and more in the conscious state, whereas before, you weren't remembering so much of the little details. And, you know, and when you did, you'd need to write it down in a journal, this, that, or the other, right? Well, now because of the balancing and the harmonizing going on between the right and left brain, the Christ and the Antichrist, the masculine and the feminine, in the physical vessel, you can really tell how much it's really expanding by how much you're remembering from your dream time. So like for me, for example, in my dream time, I'm married and I'm in a whole different reality. And it's something that repeats itself. So that tells me that that's my true reality, because every night it's just like an ongoing story, if you will. And then, you know, it's so real, and I wake up and I go to what I'm going to say, reach for my husband that's and he's not there. And the feeling that comes over my human vessel is one of great sorrow and great frustration at times when I wake up in the morning, and because it is so lucid, it is so real. I can smell that reality, I can taste that reality, I can, and then I wake up and I'm in a whole different reality. And that's what it's like for many of us right now. How you doing, Peter? How you all doing, sweethearts? I love you guys. Big, big hugs and blessings. And so that too is contributing to a lot of these emotions and these feelings of desperation, these feelings of frustration that are coming up, and these feelings of suicide. And this is another thing that is tied into this, sweethearts. So many of you keep saying, you want to leave this world. And I've been there, I've said it myself. I'm sure many of you over the course of the last 5 years since I walked in can remember me posting stuff like that. I'm ready to go home, Sky Command, And it's really helpful to understand this, guys. You're not going anywhere but here. You're Earthians now. All of us, we came from the future to relive the past, to change it. And the home you came from ain't there for you to go home to anymore. You're here. Your home is in your heart. Your home is here to rebuild. Yes, there are some of us, for example, myself, my mission is complete. How much longer I'll be embodied physically in this 3D physical plane, well, my spirit will announce it when it's ready. It's not ready to announce that yet. I'm aware of when. I've been shown. And so, for those of us that, on the galactic side of things, that are done with our missions, we will go back to what is called a home base. And, depending on the galaxies we're working in, this, that, and the other, depends on where our home base is. Now, to say you are from the Pleiadians, or the dramedians, or Sirius, this, that, or the other. You're from all of them. That's part of the mutation of our DNA. And so, you know, when you're really feeling that urge, you want to go home, you want to leave this physical world. You take you with you wherever you go, whether it's this world, whether it's Mars, whether it's Jupiter, whether it's, your star galaxies, Orion, Sirius, Lyra, whatever, Pleiades, Arcturus. You take you with you wherever you go. So, you're here for a purpose. And sometimes I know I make it sound cold and callous when I say make it impersonal. But seriously, right now, because this outside world is transforming so much and so rapidly fast, how do you know where you came from? Well, Peter, I can remember back 3.8 billion years of every lifetime where I've come from, and I can remember every lifetime up to 175 million years in the future. Now, where I originally come from is when you go back to the beginning of creation, if you will, the very first great grand central sun, I come from the second one. My home planet, if you will, was destroyed. And I mean, I can go in and in and in. Your soul, Peter, when I walked into this vessel in April of 2014, I spent 9 months before, my vessel spent 9 months before I walked in training of remembering everything. All my past lives and integrating it, this, that, and the other. And then when I walked into the vessel, and having to merge it with my vessel's consciousness, if you will, then along the past 5 years, deeper and deeper clarity I've come to. Now, any one of you can remember anything and everything. But again, everything is a frequency. I walked in at a very high frequency. I come from the 144th dimensional frequency. And the human vessel cannot hold that kind of light at all. And so, I almost short-circuited my vessel when I walked into it, because it was just, my vessel was just too low of a frequency. And so, the thing with the human aspect of it, if you're not ready or at a high enough frequency to process the light information, it will go away until you're ready. Had I not wrote almost everything down in a journal, I wouldn't probably remember a lot of it. There's a lot of minute details I don't remember. But you're all coming into a space right now. You're coming into a space where, and throughout your journeys, because it's been baby steps, you've remembered things from your dream times and your visions and your meditations and this, that, and the other. But depending on your emotional frame of mind and your frequency and your experiences that you're going through in the present moment, how you decode that information is going to be based on the frequency. That's why truth is as fluid as the frequency you hold. And the higher you evolve yourself in your frequency, you will always come into deeper clarity and deeper truth. And as you're going through this period of space right now, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of people saying the same thing in different ways. There's a lot of people saying different things, trying to make it mean the same thing. And right now, even the words discernment is going to go away, because discernment in and of itself is a judgment. Even the words, what you resonate or do not resonate, will dissolve. And the purpose for that is because you guys, we all, you've already ascended. It's literally releasing the beliefs and the taught everything of that old reality. And you have full knowledge now. And the trick with that, we're leaving a harmonic frequency where it was all-knowing knowing. And once you reach that awakening space of being all-knowing, knowing, that's when we come in and we have to allow ourselves to empty the memory banks and transfer the knowledge and the wisdom to the library, the Akashic Library, and that's what we've done now. And so then you come from a space that your soul has awakened to all-knowing knowing, and now you are harmonizing that into a space of all-knowing as in awareness. I am aware of all and I know nothing. And what that exactly means is you want to empty your holy grail. This is your holy grail, your body. You want to empty that so you can have a clean slate, so you can have room to bring in the light-encoded filaments because those light-encoded filaments is what's lighting you up. And the amount of light you allow to shine through you is what determines your frequency. And so the higher and the more you anchor these lights into the earth, to the new electromagnetic and geomagnetic grids, that's why we say earth, ground. Because that's the more you're holding in the light that you're bringing in through your vessel. And the more you do that, the more you expand your brain from the 5% that you've been shrunk into to the vastness of the Creator. And the Creator is imagination. And that's the battle of the two worlds you're in, because your consciousness is awakened. You've ascended. You've graduated. And right now your vessel has been in control, of your thought process, of your emotions, of this, that, and the other. And right now your consciousness is saying no more. That's the splitting, that's the two worlds. And like you're in the middle between the two of them, walking down the corridor that I was describing. And so as your brain is expanding with all these light-encoded filaments that are coming in, much more is being revealed to everybody, even if it doesn't make sense. A lot of truth is being revealed. All the clair gifts. Liken it to this, guys. Do you remember the first time that you caught yourself becoming aware of the fact that you were telepathic, or that you could do remote viewing, or you could hear spirit, or you could see visions? Do you remember how that kind of freaked you out? And if you say it never did freak you out, you're lying to yourself. It freaks us all out when it first starts happening. And I mean that in a very loving way. When I say you're lying to yourself, you're deceiving yourself. Because it does. It gives us that shocked wow, aha, and it's like, and then you start questioning yourself. Nah, I didn't see that, And so this is what is happening to even all the unawakened people. All their clair gifts are awakened. They have no idea what the hell they're hearing. They don't know that it's clairaudience or clairsentience or, they don't know. We do. Those of us on the awakening journey that are in that awareness, we know what the heck's going on, but 7 billion souls don't. And these light-encoded filaments are hitting all of us. Belinda, I wasn't scared. Sometimes I was. Sometimes I wasn't. A lot of times I was in awe. But, then when the visions of being hung from a tree and being raped by 10 people, and, then the memories of Pompeii and stuff would come back in the visions, and they would scare me. Straight up, they would scare me. Because, I could see myself in all these, I'm not even going to get into it, but let me catch up on what Cheryl's saying and some of you others. Them words should go away. Words like that discourage people that don't understand the words. Cheryl, people aren't going to understand the words. Because everybody is always at their own level of frequency. Everybody holds their own beliefs, their own truths within, whether they're not the full truth because of the frequency they're on, or whatever it may be. So it's up to us to change the definitions. The English language has been mutated as much as our DNA has. And so it's up to us, we're the way showers, we're the forerunners. It's up to us. We want those words to go away, then we have to be the ones to stop saying them. We have to be the ones to stop using them. We have to be the ones to stop engaging in them. And it begins with us and it ends with us. So, we want peace in the world. Well, then we have to sit there and stop, joining in the angry protests, You can protest in peace. We have to be the ones to show how peace is. We're warriors, but we're warriors of peace. We're defenders of peace. And even the word warriors will go away. Because all of those were created for the 3D grid, the 3D realm of experience. And we've left that sector of time and space. So everything is going to morph, because another thing, the higher in frequency each evolves to, your language automatically changes. Just like your tones change, your voice changes, your vessel morphs, this, that, and the other. Everything changes to match the new frequency. And, oh, Belinda, I am glad and thankful my higher self. I love you guys, truly. Mustang, I feel the opposite. I have never had this curiosity for life like I have now. Thank God, had depression most of my life. And Mustang, and that's accurate for many of us that are awakened now. Many of us that have ascended. We've lived the life of that depression, of that abuse and everything for a purpose. But again, this is where we, the awakened ones, we have to remember those that are unawakened are still in the inversion programming, the Messiah programming. We are not. We have pierced that veil. We have deeper clarity, deeper truth, deeper understanding of that truth. So Mustang, everything for us right now, literally, that understanding, overstanding, understanding, frequency, everything is going to be the opposite of the unawakened in what they're going through right now, because we have reverted back to the original blueprint. Paulo, yes, mindfulness in our new frequency is paramount, absolutely. And so, again, that's part of mastering the mastery right now, is being able to see beyond the physical senses, what the physical senses present. Because the physical senses will always deceive you. That's why it's necessary, and again, part of the mastery of 2018 is really controlling, commanding, teaching your vessel, if you will, from your higher consciousness to see through 13 lenses that make up the one eye of God versus these lenses. To literally put yourself in their shoes, allow your higher self to put yourself in the situation, see it through their eyes, and in a peaceful, graceful, compassionate way, assist them with expanding their own set of lenses in order to assist themselves in what they need. That's the greatest gift we can give as light workers and way showers and gatekeepers, galactic, angelic, or otherwise, is the gift of seeing through their lens of perception. Whether it's your child, whether it's your lover, whether it's your ex, whether it's your baby's mama, whether it's your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your best friend, your coworker, your parents. Belinda, we were all the odd ones, sweetheart. We were all the black sheep for the most part. And looking back, it's a gift, guys. If you look back, and especially those that are feeling suicidal and stuff, or that many are facing that addiction, and this again is where suicide is coming in. Many are facing that addiction and they'd rather kill themselves than relapse. And they're beating themselves up for it. Oh, please don't beat yourselves up. Don't judge yourselves. And again, it's only coming up for you to say no, to stare it in the face, these emotions, these fears, these thoughts, and say, no, you are no longer going to control me. I am free. And you are free. And you have to tell your brain that it's free, because your brain still thinks, as it's harmonizing and balancing with these light and integrating these light encoded filaments, your brain's trying to hang on to the memories that you're trying to say goodbye to. Your brain's trying to hold on to those old feelings of hurt and pain and distrust, because that's the only way. It knows how to protect you. The ego is not only your enemy, but it's your best friend, it's your lover, and it's your ultimate lover. And when it can surrender to your spirit, then the mind becomes alive. The mind is what's asleep. Your awakening is awakening the right side of your brain. And awakening your brain versus just having a sector of the mind awake. And so, that's where mastery comes in. It's mastering your thoughts, mastering your emotions. And when these emotions arise, when these thoughts arise, that's where you, the consciousness, your higher self, because it's not your higher self anymore, guys, it's yourself. And yourself is taking control. And your physical vessel is the only thing, your mind is the only thing that's resisting it. Because your mind totally believes, your ego believes it's doing its job by protecting you, and it is doing its job. Until you tell, you the employer, you the boss, you the commander, whatever you need to look at it, label yourself, until you give it a new job description, it's going to keep doing that same job. It's going to resist. It's going to keep protecting you. It's going to keep showing fear, because right now, that's what it was programmed to do. That fear was the protection mechanism. And so, right now, the mastering of your mastery is literally when these thoughts, these memories, these emotions come up. That's why I always say make it impersonal. Take the labels and the descriptions and the personalities away, and take the storyline away, and look at it as energy. And it's easier for you guys to do that now. When you can breathe, when this stuff starts coming up, when you start feeling it coming up, and you allow yourself to ground, and you allow yourself to breathe. And you sit there and you say, okay, self, take control here. You will find that it is much easier for you to master your thoughts than it was before. It is much easier for you to get a grip on your emotions before you explode. Sure, if it happens, it happens, guys. Don't beat yourself up. That's what this year is for, mastering your mastery. The human mind thinks you're imperfect. You're absolutely perfect. Everything is absolutely perfect. It's only the human side of us that thinks anything is not perfect. And that thought process, too, is slowly dissolving and dissipating. And so, if you're really feeling the craving and you really feel like these energies are pushing you to relapse in your addictions, you know, if you can't pick up the phone and have someone come physically sit with you, reach out. You know, even if it's only you don't want to talk to somebody on a video chat or this, that, and the other, then make a post and say, look, people, you know, I don't want no bullshit comments, but I need some help here. You know, whatever you have to do for you. But trust. This, you have to trust in the surrender of this, guys. And you have to trust that and tell Spirit, tell the universe, whatever you call it, tell God, Father, whatever. Say, look, I need some help. I need you to guide the right people to me. And you reach out, you will be led to them. And you have to trust in yourself. When this stuff arises, you have to trust and call upon your team and your angels and yourself. Say, look, I need you to help me through this because I feel like I'm spiraling. I feel like I'm losing it. I feel like I'm going crazy. I don't know what the hell's going on. And the thing is to be authentic with yourself, to be honest. Not to sit there and say, okay, I'm really angry. I feel like I want to just shoot myself. But I'm just going to sit here and say, I love you, this, that, and the other, and think everything's okay. You can't do that. Yes, helping, sitting there chanting, saying, I love you, until you center yourself, get your mind, your focus off of your thoughts. But then you have to step up to the plate for yourself, and you have to step back and you have to observe it. You can't just brush this stuff under the carpet. You know, you can't just brush it away and just, you know, not deal with it, because right now you're in a straitjacket, if you will. And these energies are just going to keep pulling tighter and tighter and tighter on that straitjacket until every little bit of condensed light is squeezed out of you. And the more you can remain centered, the more you can reach out and have, you know, someone hold space and surround you with loving energy and help you ground yourself, get you through it. It'll make it much more easier and graceful. And that's the whole purpose of this. We've come into a space, a harmonic frequency, sweethearts, of unity. Nobody has to do it alone anymore. That part of our journey are over. You had to learn to be alone. You had to be alone in order to love yourself. But that part is no more, and you're going to find that rapidly now. And if you observe the last couple of weeks, more new people are coming into your presence and your awareness. And more are falling away from your presence and your awareness. Because we're literally in a space of gathering right now. The 144,000 of us are in a space of gathering. And all the other light workers that can be likened to our offspring, if you will, are gathering with us. And all the new children and stuff, all of those souls, we're all gathering. And Spirit is relocating and connecting us through social media, this, that, and the other. And that's going to occur this whole year now, as we move fully into the new Earth harmonic frequencies. And we fully go into a space of full rebuilding of the physical plane of existence in the truth frequencies of all that we are. And so, if you're going to find yourselves in experiences, if you're not coming into unity and reaching out and supporting everybody as much as you support yourself within, and allow each the freedom to be the unique individual expression that each are, you're going to find that scenario will be like Groundhog's Day, and that experience will keep presenting itself, because we're out of those frequencies of separation. And anything that is of separation is going to fall away. It's going to come up to be presented, to be transformed, or to fall away. And so that's all that's coming up. That's everything that's going on right now. And you have the courage and the strength. Cheryl, when I talk of 144,000, you say, why 144,000? You guys take it as beings. I'm talking about a whole soul original template. I don't talk from a human perspective. I don't see things through the way you guys do. I see the opposite of the human lens, if you will. So there are many things people will sit there and say, you got it backwards. And that can very well be, because I see it through a whole lot of different, I see it more through a mechanical set of a whole lot of screens and lenses and codes versus the human aspect of it. And again, I see it from a space where it's not inverted. And the human aspect of it has been in inversion programming. So a lot of people will sit there and say, you're wrong, wake up, you're in an illusion. Well, actually, I'm not in an illusion. I do not have that inversion programming. And because I walked in without that inversion programming. And so that's been my challenge, trying to not be that mechanical thinking and be more compassionate, even though I'm more monotone and non-detached or non-attached. People look at me as kind of cold-hearted, aloof, monotone, stuff like that, and I'm getting better at it. You guys are helping me become a little more humanized in my compassion and stuff like that. It's not that I'm not compassionate. I'm just very non-attached to the physical world, if you will. So when I say the 144,000, I'm talking about a whole original blueprint that has 144,441 fragments that complete the whole of one. Now, yes, I understand that there's 3.5 million light workers, but it's helpful to understand that there's only 144,441 fragments that make up the whole, and then from there, that's part of we're all interconnected. It's all part of our DNA. But there's only 144,441 of us that carry the original DNA strands. Now all carry them, but there's only, and this is to protect the original blueprint, the original template. So when I say the 144,000, Cheryl, I'm talking about fragmented pieces of an original blueprint, a template. I don't talk about, I'm not saying that it's only 144,000 beings, because we're all part of those fragments of the 144,000 if you are. So it's all a matter, again, Cheryl, this goes to the understanding of the depth of the truth can only be comprehended by the level of frequency one is at within. Now, people sit there and say, this is my truth, that is your truth, da-da-da-da-da. There is no your truth and my truth. There is only the truth. But not everybody's going to see the truth, because deeper clarity of truth will always come the higher in frequency you evolve yourself to within. You will always, always, always get deeper clarity, deeper meaning, deeper depth of meaning to the truth of anything the more you evolve in frequency. So to the majority, the 144,000 is represented as deities, as beings, as angels and ascended masters and stuff like that. So, I could sit here and I could explain exactly what I mean when I sit there and say the 144,000. Well, I can get mechanical and technical with you and take you down to the absolute truth and the nitty-gritty of it in all lenses, of the numerology of it, of the sound frequencies of it. I can get the galactic side of it, the cosmic side of it, the celestial side of it, the science side of it. But truly, people aren't ready for that kind of information, and the ones that are, they're aware of it and they have it. So yes, Crystal, we are all part of the 144,000, but again, many of you look at the 144,000 as beings. I'm looking at it as fragments of a soul template. I'm looking at it as pieces of a pie, keys to a puzzle. So again, that goes with depth of understanding, overstanding, and understanding, and the purpose of why you're here. Mine's a galactic mission. Some's only a angelic mission. Some's only, a healer's mission. We're not all here on the same purpose. And so understanding, depending on our purpose being here, is going to be different. I have information within me that is more prevalent than, say, most of you, because I'm doing gatekeeping work, grid work, and galactic work, and the majority of you don't do the grid work. So you're not going to have information that I have. You have it, but you don't have to access it right now. So therefore, it's not in your awareness right now. So, Cheryl, where you're saying, okay, what about the people that say they're activating different DNAs? It's really helpful for you guys to understand this. Every word you speak, every thought you think, every emotion, every reaction, every response, you're putting a code out there that activates someone's DNA. Because we're all interconnected. So if I make a post, I make lots of posts, and all of my posts are encoded. It doesn't matter if it is poetry that people take as just a physical, lustful poetry, or if they're at a higher frequency, they'll understand that it's encoded of the sacred union within of the sacred marriage within. Now, if you come across that post, a video, whatever it is, it's because it was supposed to be in your awareness. For whatever message it needed to give you. So, to say, we do not have to seek somebody out to activate us. We do not have to, go to somebody and say, hey, I heard that we have to have this seal removed or this implant, or, that I need these DNA strands activated. Yourself, the second you start on your awakening journey, you need nothing or no one outside of you. No one. No one to activate any DNA within you at all. You don't need a healer outside of you to heal you in any way, shape, or form. Your vessel will do it. And most times that so many of you sweethearts seek out others to heal you, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. Because, and I'm not putting judgment out there, because we all go through it. We all go through it. Because it's a template that has to be cleared. But, there's many out there that go through these spurts of getting deeper clarity and remembering that they are powerful healers from past lives, this, that, and the other, but they are still doing the inner work, but yet they're out there healing people. And so what they're doing is they're sending all their their karmic energy that they haven't dealt with, they're sending it out in that healing that they're doing for others because they haven't cleared it within themselves first. And Denise, you're going to find about the RH negative is, again, all that stuff is storylines and templates from a harmonic frequency that we've left. And again, that's the human mind that, wants to keep storylines alive. And And again, this is where all of the beliefs and all the mystery teachings and all the teachings of the high priestess and all that shit back in Atlantis and Egypt, all that's going to go, guys. It's all of the old. We don't need it no more. You hold the wisdom and the knowledge within you of all those experiences. All these ideations of templates of, I'm Athena, I'm Archangel Michael, I'm Mary, I'm Magdalene, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. All those labels and stuff are going to go away, and you guys are going to find that you're going to come into one label. And that label is Sophia Gaia, because that's who we are. And, her name has, Gaia's name right now is Gaia Atara, or Atara Gaia. Atara means crowned. Gaia is the name of the earth mother, the earth in and of itself. She is your inner child. She's your brain. She's your operating system. And the more you connect in your heart, the more you connect to her new star grid or operating system consciousness. And so, if you want to strip away all your names and all the labels and everything else and just call yourselves Atara, there you go. Because Atara means crowned. You guys have ascended. It's only your mind that's keeping you small right now. It's only your minds that are keeping you depressed and angry and sad and hurt and distrusting. And, when you can detach, the more you can make it impersonal right now. We're conduits. And this is the greatest moment in the history of creation. And if you can remember that, and remember that you're conduits, you'll get through any suicidal thoughts. Denise, do you know what is going to happen March 18th? Guys, you guys really need to stop focusing on this stuff. And I know I put dates out there. I better go into some explanation here because I put dates out there. I put dates out there because I'm doing grid work. I speak from a space of others, okay? Where I do one aspect of the grid, Paula's doing the other, her and her team, and me and my team. Again, I see the inversion. And if anybody knows how Paula and I work, and you probably don't, but if you pay attention, outside of the human lens, you will see as much as our poles are similar, they both have contrast in them. We both say that we're the mother of all mothers because Paula and I are a twin planetary unit. And so, again, unless you guys are on the galactic side, you're not going to fully understand that. So, so when you ask me what's March 18th, well, in linear time, it can be anything. I don't work in linear time, Cheryl. And again, those are questions of the mind. At some point in time, you're going to have to get out of your mind, Cheryl. Every question you're asking me, you can literally ask yourself and it will tell you. And I mean that, I'm not meaning no disrespect when I say that, beautiful. Now, I can tell you this as far as dates go, that from March 10th to April 7th, the celestial planetary alignments has opened the golden gates to heaven. And those golden gates, as far as the celestial planetary alignments go, closes April 7th. Take that for what you will. Now, again, this is that feeling like you're in two worlds. Walking through it, and you're in the corridor between two walls that are showing you two worlds. And so, oh, you're asking Denise? Forgive me, please. And, sorry, Cheryl, it's scrolling so fast here. So, it was Denise who asked that. Forgive me, I thought it was Cheryl. And, so as far as March 18th, the next big thing here is going to be the equinox. We've entered the equinox gateway. Those are energies, sweet ones, on top of the grid work and the lighting up of the grid that Paula and my team are doing. And we've already hit Denise, we've already hit the opening of consciousness. That's what you guys are going through right now. When we disconnected the fourth quadrant the other night, and we fully connected to the fifth dimensional star grid, that shut down the old operating system of the consciousness of the 3D, if you will. We disconnected from it and we connected to the new star grid, a whole new time and space sector of consciousness, a whole new harmonic. So, again, there's a lot of stories out there. There's a lot of information out there. But again, information is only decoded. Everybody, every one of us, every one of you get the same transmissions. Every one of you. The transmission codes that we've put out through the planetary consciousness, every human, awakened or not, gets them. Now, each one of you, depending, again, awakened or not, depending on the beliefs, the emotional frame of mind, and the frequencies you hold within, are going to decode that transmission of wisdom and truth through that frequency and through your beliefs. So, and many start writing posts and putting posts out before they get the full integration in of the light information. They get a little bit of clarity. Oh my God, I got to go share this. Look, look what I got. And so they go out there and they say they're channelings and they say they're this and they say they're that. And they've only gotten partial truth. They've only gotten partial transmission. Therefore, they've decoded it from a partial standpoint. They don't have the full transmission. Therefore, it's going to be distorted. But it's not distorted to them because that's how they decoded that transmission. Now, liken it like this. You can take 100 of us. And it's no different than lining 100 people up and lining 10 people up in front of one person and say, okay, each one of you tell me what you see. And each 10 of you are going to see something different. And that's exactly how it goes with these transmissions. Light encoded filaments. And so that's why I sit there and tell you guys, there is no false prophets. You're all false prophets. Because along your journey, you only decoded it to the truth of the frequency you held, which was distorted. The higher in frequency you go, the less distortion you have because you're connected, more fully interconnected with your spirit and source. So you're all false prophets. That's why you don't need to call people out. You don't need to expose people and say they're demons or they're false prophets or they're this and that. Because again, in every given moment, you're experiencing your own energy, even if it appears to you through another being that appears dark, or an energy vampire, or this, that, or the other. There's no war outside of you. There's no war of dark outside of you. Everything is within you. And this is something the spiritual community doesn't like to embrace. They only want to embrace the good side of the deity's name, the good side of spirituality, the positive, high vibes, this, that, and the astral sex side of things. But, the actuality of it is this. It's really easy to sit there and say oneness and we are one and this, that, and the other. And it's really easy to say love and light and this, that, until you have to face the fact that you're experiencing your own energy in somebody else and you're not liking what, oh, they're dark. Oh, they're of the dark. They're a false prophet, And all you're doing is, one, by sitting there rejecting, abandoning, denying it, you're telling the universe to bring it back to you in another experience more intensely. Two, you're putting fresh karmic energy out there that too will come back and intensify it. And three, you have just put distorted codes out there that now is going to amplify it even more for you when it comes back. And so that's why before you emotionally react, and by making it impersonal, it's easier to deal with. And so, and the more you make it impersonal and take the storylines away, sweethearts, the more you're going to find you can see it is energy rather than evil, good, bad, light, dark, this, that, and the other. I heard there was going to be a whole lot of energy hitting the earth at one time. It already has. And people are all going to open up but cause confusion. It already has. And now again, Denise, again, it's going to affect everybody in different ways. And you're also going to find that as much as that bolt of lightning hit, if you will, again, there's so many stories and stuff out there. And yes, that's going to come what you're speaking of. Probably not quite in the way that you expected. But really what you're hearing and talking about, Denise, is you guys went to bed the other night in one sector of time and space and woke up, that bolt of light that you're speaking at hit when you guys were asleep, if you will. And so now it's every 3.5 days now, as we've connected to the new star grid. Now every 3.5 days for the up through 28 days cycle, we're going through and we're bridging each one of those quadrants together. And each time we do that, you guys are going to go through a wave and you're going to go through integration and purging, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So, Denise, the key there I would really like you to observe, beautiful, is 2 words, I heard. Well, unless you heard that within, anything outside of you that you're hearing, including myself, I would go within. I'm sorry if that made you guys angry, who's ever putting all those angry faces up there. But, the actuality of it, and you can validate anything I say, please go within and do. I encourage you. Matter of fact, if I could, I would command you to. Take nothing I say as absolute truth. Nothing. Go within and validate it. So who's ever putting all the angry faces up there, I'm really sorry that you feel that way. I bless you. But, the key word is I heard. That means you heard it outside of yourself. So if you didn't hear it from your spirit, well, then you're seeking answers outside of yourself, and it's never going to be the truth because your truth is inside of yourself. And because of the difference in frequency of you, me, and everybody else that they hold within, and the beliefs that they hold within, and the clarity of truth that they have gotten to this point, again, Unless you go within and say, look, Spirit, she kind of pissed me off in her video, or hey, Spirit, she kind of confused me. Can you give me clarity? And you actually quiet your mind and actually hear Spirit. Spirit's going to give you all the validation, all the confirmation, all the clarity you need. But by the same token, if you doubt what Spirit's given you, everything in the outside world is going to show you that exact same thing to convince you that doubt is true. And so it just caused me a little fear of the unknown. Denise, sweetheart, this goes for all of us. The human has been taught to fear the unknown. You guys have been subliminally programmed to be stagnant, to be couch potatoes, to stay in your house and not get out and mingle with each other. And when you do, to hate on each other, to reject each other, to deny each other, to see separation. And the human mind has been in a program, subliminal program, to be planners, to be OCD, to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. Well, you never know. We better get a AAA before going on that trip. We might get a flat tire. Well, we got a spare. That's okay. We might need a second one. Oh, well, you better bring 10 rolls of 10 things of toothpaste instead of 2, You never know what might happen on that cruise ship. They might not have the kind of toothpaste I like. Whatever it may be. I mean, the human mind is always setting yourself up into fear. It's always planning. It always has to have a budget. It always has to have a retirement plan. It always has to live in the future. It always has to live in the past. Well, this happened on our vacation the last time, so now we need to double up on the rain jackets just in case. The human mind does that. And so the greatest gift you could give yourself, beautiful, and this goes for any one of us, because Spirit is the unknown. And as long as you're comfortable and familiar, you're stagnant. And Spirit always wants you to not be stagnant. Spirit wants you to be adventurous. Spirit wants you to get out of the box that it's called your house, your dwelling. Spirit wants you to get out there. So what if you're 66 years old? It's only society that says you can't run around nude or ice skate or, play volleyball or ski or, run a marathon, have sex. It's only society that dictates that men and women lose their sex drive after 50 years old. It's only society that says we get old after 50 years old. It's only society that says children don't know what they're doing until they become adults. That children, really have no sense of common sense or anything. Children are smarter than any adult out there. Adults just don't like to hear that. So Denise, sweet ones, you're going to find there's a lot of information out there. But, there are many of you guys that have been with me on my journey for the whole time I've been here. And, when you come across those that you're comfortable with, you can tell through the consistency of their posts. You can tell from the consistency of what they share, and if you're not resonating with it, don't fully discard it. Ask yourself what it is that you're not resonating with. Because again, we all get the same transmissions. We all get the same amount of light encoded filaments. We all get the same. The only difference is how much inner work and carbon-based density you've released from your heart is going to determine how much you're going to take in and be able to hold within you. Now, for someone like me that has cleared all those karmic ties of this vessel from when I walked into it, I'm more transparent than others. Does that mean I'm better? No. Does it mean I'm higher? No. Everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. just means that I happen to be able to hold a whole lot more light encoded filaments than, say, somebody that's just awakening. You know, I've done a whole lot of inner work. And you know, but again, my purpose and my mission for being here is not necessarily the same as each of yours, you know. And not all of you are going to have the exact same information at the exact same time for this purpose. Say I cleared the sexual, okay, I've seen somebody mention something about your tailbone hurting. That's the root chakra. And, you know, so when my vessel came into full awakening, it came in all at once. My tailbone was broken in a rape, and it sent my vessel into full awakening. Now, not everybody has gone through that kind of traumatic awakening experience. So, you know, say I cleared the sexual trauma template and zero pointed that, say, the first 2 years of my journey, and, you know, maybe you guys had, some of you cleared the abuse template of the emotional mental side of it versus the sexual side of it. So, you know, you could be clearing the sexual side of it now, and somebody else be clearing a different template because they've already zero pointed that. So again, when these light encoded filaments come in, it's always going to be decoded differently by the inner work you've done, the templates that are cleared or not cleared, the blockages that are still there, and the frequency and energy vibration that you're vibrating at. There's so much that goes into it, and that's why, you know, you can't judge yourself against anybody else. Truly, it's your journey. Yes, we all have the exact same foundational templates that have to be neutralized because we're conduits for the karmic energy of the planet. But yet, you're on an individual journey. You clear it at your own pace. You integrate at your own pace. You release at your own pace. But the similarities are there for everybody in the collective because that's the templates that have to be cleared. Okay, where am I? I need to catch up. That must be why I feel and split my head open to go to the bathroom facing the opposite way. I have no idea what I'd do without you. I love you guys. Dana, yes you do. You know, the gift I'm giving you guys is I know how to decode it. I can see through the layers. You know, I can see the layers within the levels, within the paradigms, within the parallel universe. You know, I have that gift. But yes, you guys could do it without me. You know, I'm just sharing my wisdom just like you guys share yours. Because again, we all have a unique gift. We're all here to help each other. You know, it's lots of pressure in my tailbone. Listen to be present with yourself. Ask yourself to reveal to you the sexual template that has to do with trust and distrust. Now, ladies and gentlemen, some of you too, may be going through the lower back issues right now. A lot of the root chakra areas is coming up. A lot of that, you know, trust and distrust in every way is coming up in relationships because especially your intimate love partnerships. Anything that is distorted within intimate love partnerships, marriages, whatever, past, present, future, it don't matter. Anything that is tied into trust issues, where the feminine cannot trust the masculine in one way or the other, whether that's looking at another woman and she automatically gets jealous, you know, jealousy, envy, any of those templates that are tied in cheating, anything that is tied into trust. Hiding the cell phone, this, that, and the other, who you talking to, thinking they're lying to each other, whatever it may be. That is all tied into the tailbone right now. And so you know, you can literally, if anything that's being arising right now, you can literally ask yourself, okay, above all else, I want to see. I choose to see. Reveal me to myself. And this is really helpful right now. Okay, all right, self, show me where I am not trusting, because every experience right now is tied into trust and distrust. Roberta, and you guys are going to, ladies, you're going to find that too is another attachment and a belief we have to let go of. And this goes for all of us women, and probably the men too, but especially us women. You know, we've gotten used to being comfortable, being alone, being single. Our natural state of being is in union, is in a relationship. Now, this is a big template for I know many women out there, especially just because I said I thought I would start dating again a little while ago. And, you know, I've seen many women in the spiritual community comment on that post of mine. Well, I'm just going to be single. I'm better off single. Men are pigs, this, that, and the other. You guys are going to have to get over it. Because if you don't, well, it's going to keep being presented to you, ladies. That too is a template, because that shows trust and distrust in the masculine within yourself. So that again is the full surrender. And this is really going to be overcome in the physical interaction of relationships. And that's really a beautiful thing. We're coming out of this mind programming of where the women, the masculine and the feminine, are always at odds with each other. We're out of that program where you're allowed a euphoric beginning, and after a certain frequency within is met in that relationship, then it starts going downhill. You've been programmed that way. Your relationship have been programmed to fail. Your relationships have been programmed to have distrust as its foundation. Your relationships in the old had been programmed for sexual cheating, sexual distortions. So, you know, you have to let all those beliefs, those memories, those concepts, ideations, all of it go. Or you're never going to have the sacred union with that divine masculine or that divine feminine that you want, that your soul, heart, and spirit longs for and craves. That which you are seeking outside, you're seeking it within. And so these are the things that are coming up right now, all of these beliefs, you know, and it's these things that the human aspect of us don't recognize as beliefs. You recognize them as, it just is that way. All right, it was told to me by a man that said he could see my eyes turning to reptilians and I could transform myself, and he frightened me so much I'm done with him now. Denise, sweetheart, why didn't you ask yourself what you were fearing? It's helpful to know that we all have reptilian in us. We're all things, guys. There's nothing to fear. You hear all the stories about the reptilians, the elite, the Illuminati, the dark cabal, the Anunnaki. Well, look in the mirror. Welcome to yourself. You know, we're all things, including the darkest of the dark. Boys, no, nope. And so, you know, you can't fear yourself, Denise. And if you guys are coming up against other sweethearts that are saying things like that are fearing you, again, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that their intentions are dark or mean or bad or this or that. You specifically, whether you're consciously aware or unconsciously aware of it, you specifically set it up for yourself that way, for that person to come into your life and cross your path at this moment in space and time. Just like you and I had agreed for me to be here right now with you, and you with me in this space and moment in time. And to the human mind, the human can't wrap itself around that, and that's okay. Again, you can't judge yourself, you know. The best thing you can do when you hear something or feel something or see something that puts a bolt of fear in you or anything like that, the best thing you can do is breathe before you react. Before you comment, whatever. Breathe. And say, okay, self, why did that make me scared? You know, why did that piss me off? Why did that not resonate with me? But to sit there and just disregard it, oh, that guy put me in fear, I have to go block him. Well, I have to tell you, sweethearts, again, you take you with you wherever you go. You can run from them, you can hide them, you can abandon them, you can block them all you want. But guess what? You run from it and block that person, whether it's on social media, in the physical aspect of it, whatever it may be, that energy is yours. And that energy will come back and present itself through another experience, and either the same being or another being. You know? So, again, whether somebody's telling you this person is bad, that person's dark, you know, that person's an energy vampire, this, that, or the other, you know what? If you're taking people for what they tell you, you're dishonoring yourself. Because you're listening to something outside of you rather than going within and validating it with your spirit and saying, hey, self, this person blowing smoke up my ass, or, you know, is there some truth in there that I need to integrate right now? And then, you know, is the stuff they're blowing up my ass, is that something I need to integrate later, or is that something that I need to transform and release right now? So, you know, it's all part of mastery, and it's all, again, you know, I see it through one set of perceptional lens, and you know, you guys are going to see it through another. I say tomato, you say tomato, you know, there's no one wrong. There's no one that is dark. There's no one being or any one of us that is a false prophet, an energy vampire, this, that, or the other, because you're always experiencing your own energy, whether it's presented through me with pink hair, red hair, green hair, black hair, you know, whatever way it's presented, it's still always us, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And so many of us want to embrace the good side of it, the good side of the deities, you know, but they really don't want to take on what they label as bad, dark, good, bad, or ugly. And so, you know, it's all part of it. It's all part of it. I didn't believe him. I just thought he was crazy because I knew I wasn't changing. Well, you know, again, Denise, beautiful, I would really encourage you to really observe that. You know, you said a key word there. 2 key words there. 1, I didn't believe him, and 2, I thought he was crazy, both judgments. And, you know, can I ask you a question, beautiful? Did you happen to ask yourself if anything he said was true? You know, because he wouldn't have crossed your path if he didn't have a message for your spirit. You know, if he didn't have a message for you from your spirit. Because your spirit, good, bad, or indifferent, puts everybody in our presence for a divine purpose. And whether they appear dark, good, bad, indifferent, they're still a message. And it's a message about us. It's a message about ourselves. And when you can start looking at the world instead of as they, you know, somebody doing something to you, and start looking at it as someone doing something for you, you know, that somebody is there giving you a gift, whether that's a gift that activates your darkness within yourself, or whether that's a gift of hey, that feels really good. I got an activation of that. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your gift. It's all a gift. It's all a blessing. And that's the beautiful thing about us. And that again ties back to, I believe it was what Cheryl had asked earlier about, or somebody had mentioned about people activating DNA codes. I can activate every single, you know, I can activate all of your codons. However, that is not my place to do that. You know, my posts are there for information, to share wisdom that, yes, will activate DNA. However, again, how the human reacts to that, anybody's post or whatever, if they automatically sit there like the person the other night told me that I'm crazy to wake up from my illusion, and I said, well, it's not me who's crazy. I'm not the one who lashed out at you. So I encourage you to go within and ask where you're not woke up yet from the illusion. Because you're always experiencing no, it wasn't you, it was a gentleman, Cheryl. And, I'm pretty straightforward, guys. People, I'm a teller of unpopular truths, and it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I'll stand in my truth. But the truth needs no defense. And, the higher frequency you come to that understanding that the truth needs no defense. And, and that everybody's on their own level of awareness. And so it does no good to sit here and bash each other and call each other false prophets, this, that, and the other, because the second you do that, you're calling yourself a false prophet. You're badgering yourself. You're beating yourself up. And you really, truly come into that understanding. The higher in frequency you evolve to, and you come to a place of peace, and you come to the understanding that, yeah, I'm pissed off, I'm angry, so what? I accept it, big deal. Okay, I'll deal with it. Thank you for showing, and be grateful for the experience and move on. And it really does become that simple. The higher in frequency, and the more you master your mind, the more you master your emotions, control your emotions and master your thoughts, the more you are in control of your life. And the more the outside world will morph, and the more the inside of you will morph into a more peaceful existence. Check this out, guys. I might have to walk out to the front here. I want to show you guys this ship. And you can tell it's a starship. All right, Sky Command, stay there till I get out here. This is really cool because you can tell it's a ship. You can really see the layers of it. And I just love showing stuff like this. Check this out. It's right over the sun setting. Let's see. Can you see it? The big ship right here? Maybe you can't. Right here. I can't zoom in on it for you, but you can literally see the layers of it from the camera the other. Well, you can see it on top too. See this ship here? You can see the layers. I'm trying to move my finger. It's kind of hard, but you can see the layers right here of the ship. And there's another ship right here. Right here, that's an Arcturian ship. And you guys will find, I love you, Sky Command. Gratitude. You guys will find, at night now when you go outside and look up at the stars, you're going to find, if you sit there and you look up there and you stare, and you're going to see after a couple seconds, depending on your frequency, it will determine how clear, but you're literally going to be able to see through dimensions, and you're going to be able to see that the stars are all moving now. You can literally see that they're ships, and if you literally stare up there long enough, you'll actually be able to see like some ships going this way, and just above it, other ships going that way. And you're actually going to be able to see the interdimensional travel because we've moved into those higher harmonics. And Brandon, you tell them, just because you guys don't see the ships, you go out there and you sit there and you ask Sky Command. Well, I call it Sky Command because I work with with all of them. I don't work with just the Pleiadians, just the Syrians. I work with the Intergalactic Federation of Worlds. You know, that's the council I'm on. And I'm also, you know, also the Galactic Federation of World and the Galactic Federation of Light. So, but, you know, if you want to connect with the Pleiadians, call up on them when you're out there, or the Arcturians, or the Andromedans. Right now, many of you guys have been assigned galactic guides, some unseen, some of us, of course, seen. You see me. You see Paula, you see Rick, you know, you see Amanda, we're galactic guides. But every single one of you have been assigned to galactic guardians to help you through this next year going forward. And, you know, most of them is either one Arcturian and one Pleiadian, or one Andromedan and one Pleiadian, or, you know, usually that's how we've been pairing them up. Yeah, I'd love to see the light in your eyes when you get so excited. You know, I used to sit there and post all the time. I wish you guys could really see through my eyes, because, you know, and then, you know, my angel used to make posts saying, now, you don't want people to see through your eyes. You want them to see through their own. And you know, and that's very true. You don't want to see through my eyes, but because you want your own truth and you want your own wisdom. But if you take all that away and can see the magic that I see through my eyes, and that's the beauty of it. That's, you know, when I used to make those posts, I wish you could see the magic that I could see, because, you know, I could see all of the light particles. I could sit here and stare at my bed or my desk and literally spread the light particles apart and watch it dissipate and then bring it back into form. And I could do that, you know, I could, well, it don't matter what I could do anyways. So, I mean, I could see the magic. I could see the light particles, and I could watch them dance, and it was really cool. Well, I still can. And so can you guys. I have video problems, just me. You know what? It's probably my energy, because my energy drains my phone like you wouldn't believe. I started out this video, I don't know how long I've been on here. I started out at 100%, and I'm now down to 8. So we're got to end it. So, you know, I love you guys. You know, I really am here for you. The gray shadow in the clouds, some of them, Cheryl, you know, the ships up there, some of them are cigar-shaped. Some of them are like, you know, what they say are UFOs, the round saucer shapes. The Syrian shapes are triangular. So, you know, and if you really look at it, you can really see, you can see the ships through the clouds. Do I have a couch for sale? And, Denise, I was told I was Pleiadian by a spiritual woman. Denise, have you ever gone within and meditated and asked yourself what you are? You know, I hear an awful lot of you guys sitting here saying, I heard this, I was told this. All this stuff that you're hearing and you're being told, do you go within and validate this stuff? Because, Denise, where you say I was told I was a Pleiadian by a spiritual woman, honey, I'm going to sit here and tell you, and please go within. Do not take my word for truth, even though I know I'm speaking the truth. However, you need your truth. You need your spirit to say, yes, that's truth what she's saying, or no, that's not the truth that you need right now. You know? And we're from all of them. You're not just Pleiadian. We're all of them. Remember, our DNA was mutated. You know? And so, if you resonate, well, I'm Pleiadian. That just means you're resonating more with that aspect of your DNA. I haven't. I only care to know why I'm here. we are all we want to be. Hey, Brandon, I bet if you go and you ask yourself, why am I here? It'll tell you. And I'm pretty sure it's going to tell you because you're one of the best of the best, and you're here as a conduit to release and transform the karmic energy out of Gaia. And you know, you guys are really being given the clarity of what your purpose is here for. And I can guarantee you guys, just because you're on the awakening journey and the spiritual journey does not mean that the 5D reality, physical plane of existence, only has Reiki masters, healers, and crystal workers. I can guarantee you they're still in need of teachers. They're still in need of garbage workers, of policemen, of doctors, of, you know, judges, of lawyers, this, that, and the other. You know, we're transforming every aspect, not just part of it, not just our bodies, not just those that are awakened. We're transforming all of it. And so, you know, just because, well, so-and-so has these gifts activated, how come she can heal somebody and I can't? You know what? There's a lot of bull crappy out there that just because you're on the spiritual awakening journey that you have to become a healer. Because that's the end thing to do. You can be anything you want to be. You want to be a doctor? Then study and be a doctor. You know? You want to have your soul guide you. You know? You want to work on the railroad, build cars, grow marijuana, you know, whatever. Just allow your soul to guide you. Allow your spirit and listen to it, regardless of what this outside world dictates. You know, Spirit's telling you, perfect example, this is happening to many. Spirit's telling many of us to move, to relocate. And many of us are in this space where they don't have, one, the money to relocate. Two, they don't have a way to relocate. And three, they have no place to go to locate, to find a new place in a new relocation spot, if you will. And this is where, again, you have surrender. Faith is the truth of the trust you behold. And that truth truly is how much faith you have in surrendering to the unknown, because it's only the unknown that you cannot control, that you fear it. That's where the fear of the unknown comes in, because you have no control. And Spirit don't work in control. And Spirit will give you experiences after experience after experience until you give up control and surrender to Spirit. And so right now it's all about surrendering and trusting. So you don't have money right now. Stop worrying about it. Surrender it to, you're always provided for. And sometimes Spirit will wait till the very, very last minute because you're stressing over it so dang much. You haven't fully trusted in Spirit. And sometimes because your fear overrides you block yourself from receiving that which is bringing you that which you have asked for. And that's, again, part of your mastery. So, I love you guys. Big, big hugs and blessings. Reach out. And you know, there's many out there that are afraid to reach out. So even if you see them spiraling or whatnot, you know, send them love. You don't have to sit there and message them, just, you know, if you don't want to, you know, cross their boundaries or whatever. But you can sit there and call in the Emerald Rose Golden Ray. And you can surround them with love. I really encourage you not to send anybody healing right now, healing energies. I really encourage, and again, validate within, not to do Reiki or anything like that on anyone. Because, again, we're in the middle of transitioning. And energies are fluctuating within everybody. They're not stable. And right now, it's just not a good time to do any kind of energy healing on anybody because of the instability of the energies as we're transforming these energies between the two grids. And so, but you can send them beams of light with the intention that the Creator provide whatever healing is for their highest good and the highest good of all. You always want that intent to put on there because you don't want to interfere, send healing with, and interfere with their free will's choice of this experience of what they have to go through to clear their karmic energy, their karmic template. So, it's all about unity and coming together for each other, and not from the old human ways. This is where we gift our love through our light. We are the light we allow to shine through us. And the more light you have taken, the more light you allow to shine through you, the more transparent and open your heart becomes, and the more abundant and peaceful the relationship you have with yourself and with others and with nature becomes. And teacher, healer, light, love, meditation to our babies, and absolutely. You guys are my sunshines, all of you, Brandon. If you guys could truly see how far you have come and overcome, you wouldn't be beating yourselves up so dang much. You would be dancing. So, dance. Rejoice. And sing. Celebrate. Because truly, you have crossed through the golden gates of heaven. And now the outside world is just going to morph and transform, and the dominoes are going to fall and everything else to match that new harmonic frequency we've risen into. We've got this. So reach out to each other. Be there for each other. Even if we're across the world. We're hand in hand, side by side, sweethearts. And no one is ever alone. I love you guys. Have a great, beautiful, beautiful, magical night. I love